Dracarys.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
Winter is coming.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Side Effect Podcast. This is episode 35, and we will be talking about some good stuff. But first of all, let me introduce our co-hosts. We have James from Dust on the Throne. We have Tarzan from Trial by Trivia, Chris from Smokescreen, and myself, Val from Because Geek. So yes, today we will be talking about Disney. Yes, Disney now owns Fox, so we're gonna be talking about Fox as well. But also, Disney has a new streaming service, so we're gonna tell you guys what we would like to see them do with it, and stuff like that. So, yeah, go ahead, let's start talking.
We're talking about Disney and their takeover of the world, and which will result in the new streaming service and all this stuff they control, right? Is that about right, Tarzan?
That's about right. So basically what we're going to talk about, now for those of you, most of you should know by now that Disney has pretty much, they're just about done with the deal with acquiring Fox. And what that means is a lot of shit. God, I don't even have the list right now. But I think the big things that, you know, that a lot of us are looking forward to is now they'll have the X-Men. What else is big?
Tarzan.
Yeah.
I actually have the list written down. I could read it off if y'all want me to.
Go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, in effect, they will own Fox Film Library, 20th Century Pictures Library, the post-1989 New World Pictures Library, 20th Century Fox Television Library, Metro Media Producers Library, F&M Films Library, post-1991 New World Television Library, Four Star Television Library, Gold Key Entertainment Library, Genesis Entertainment Library, Divorce Court, MTM Enterprises Library, Animation Domination Company, Fox Broadcasting Company, Fox Networks Group, Fox Broadcasting, FX Networks, Baby TV, Fox Sports Networks, FS1, Fox News Group, and SkyPick.
Well, the important one there is Divorce Court, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why that one was in there.
I mean, that's just a random separate thing with all these others. So they own everything, and it essentially is
Divorce
what it is.
Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the important one. That's what I watch daily.
If you click on each of those and see what those libraries hold, I mean, they own almost everything we've ever watched in movie theaters and on TV.
What?
You're talking Paramount, you're talking Freeform, which is a new, kind of the big thing. There's so many sub-properties to all those, it's insane.
Yes, exactly.
It's insane. It is. It's crazy. Like that list I sent you, it's fucking National Geographic. I mean, it's so much sports stuff, local sports stuff. I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. They're pretty much saying it's going to be about 6 months to a year before they start giving us, kind of what their game plan is and what they're going to be doing and how, because they got a lot of dust to settle right now. Even though they bought this company, it's just, it's a lot. You know what I mean? They just picked up a lot of shit.
And I would imagine, though, they'll leave most of this alone, right? I mean,
I would hope so. I hope so.
I don't think they'll touch majority of it. They're definitely not going to touch sports and shit like that.
No, I mean, the smart thing I think for them to do is just kind of let these properties do their thing for the most part. And, of course, Disney will have the final say if it's, But, I mean, now they'll have Deadpool. They don't need to they need to let them keep doing what they're doing. They don't need to mess with that. It's Predator, Aliens, all that shit now is theirs. Family Guy, Simpsons, it's all Disney.
Right, so can we talk about the possibility of some of this stuff being taken off of Netflix? Because that's the crazy thing. The first thing I thought about when you mentioned The Simpsons, because we know that they just added Disenchantment to Netflix, which is made by the same people as The Simpsons. The Simpsons. And so yeah, I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen?
If they do their own streaming service, I cannot see them letting them stay on Netflix without some ridiculous premium.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to open up. You got all the Marvel stuff on Netflix. Obviously, they own Marvel and all that stuff. So, yeah, Tarzan, you know about all this whole new streaming service.
Yeah, it looks like pretty much there's going to be 3 of them. One of them is basically going to be sports, which will stay the way it is. The second one will be Hulu. The third one will be this new Disney. So the new Disney more than likely will have all your, how would you say, all your family-friendly shit will be on there. Okay, now, and then Hulu will get probably, like, we're just talking about like The Punisher and, all the darker stuff. And that also opens the doors too. I mean, Disney's looking to really, get involved in this. And, and that's what we're going to be talking about shortly is kind of what are some of the shows that we'd like to see them, turn into series. But it's just so much shit that they've got right now. And for them to get in the game, now they have the controlling, stock, I guess, in Hulu. So Hulu's where you're going to find, a lot of the darker stuff that you have seen on Netflix. Like, I don't know if they're going to hurt Netflix or not because you got Freeform and like you guys were talking about, we got all the Marvel stuff and all that shit should be coming over to Hulu, I would guess. It's going to make Hulu a contender against Netflix for sure. Because Hulu's already running like, a lot of the shows that you watch on TV and stuff. They run a lot of those shows the very next day. So, and we're on Netflix. Like if you have a show, like I don't know, give me something like The Flash or something, right? On Netflix, you have to wait until the very next season to see it. Okay, pretty much. Now on Hulu, you watch it the next day.
But what about the movies in the libraries that I mentioned earlier?
That's all going to go to Hulu. That's going to be all the Aliens, all the Predator.
That's what I was going to say. What about the ones that are currently on Netflix? Not series, but all the movies they own now. You think they'll pull those back to Hulu?
I don't know if like the older movie library, I would think they would let them keep those.
Yeah, because this goes back to the 1930s.
Yeah, exactly. They're going. I would imagine they'll let them keep the older library as long as they, they're paying some back end fee for it or something. However they do it anyway. I'd imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like Netflix, the company itself pays all these different studios for the rights to.
Yeah, they were already paying Fox.
Exactly.
Something. So, but see, Disney now has the threat to say, well, you got to pay a little more because we do have our own streaming shit over here.
Right, exactly.
I hope they don't, though. I think they kind of hopefully leave Hulu around the same price range. Because that's just it. That's going to be the thing. Which one's more affordable? And it's just going to be the demand thing. Like, a lot of people get HBO just for the mere fact that they can watch Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? If they didn't have, if it wasn't for Game of Thrones, they probably wouldn't have HBO.
Yeah.
But in effect, with this library, this film library, they could control the price. Like Netflix couldn't gouge them and undercut Hulu and stuff. Or they could pull these things, not license them to them. I mean, I don't know how this legalities work, but I mean, it's business. So they could say, hey, you need to stay, within $1 of what we charge for our streaming service, or we'll take our movies back.
Well, the other thing where it's going to have an effect, too, is if you guys have noticed, there's a lot of networks now that are doing, like, their own, like, I think Fox, I know USA, a lot of them have their own whatchamacallits as well. You know what I mean? Like, you go on there, and as long as you got that as a cable provider, you get all the shows on there for free.
Yes,
deal.
You're right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of that's going to go to Disney as well. I don't know. Yeah, it would make sense. On a money, if they're trying to make money, they'd close a lot of those down, and they'd be available on Hulu. Any of one of the ones that obviously Disney just acquired. So
this is a game changer. This really is.
It is. Like I said, if they're going to add another. Well, obviously this is what they're going to do. I mean, they're saying Hulu's going to have the more edgier shit, and then the new Disney streaming channel, and that's going to have so much stuff on it. It's going to be loaded with just family shit. It's going to be huge. Now, I don't know if that's going to affect like their DTV or any of that other stuff they have. If they're just going to move all that over there as well, I don't see why not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of that, they might just fucking buy out some big TV company and actually own the TVs too.
Yeah, imagine that. You own it from front end to back end.
Exactly, you would. You don't own damn thing. I don't know. They might start getting into territory where the government steps in for monopoly shit like they did Microsoft.
Well, the thing is this deal isn't, there's still another piece to it, and that's, what is it called, Blue Sky or just Sky Entertainment, Chris?
It's Sky Entertainment, but yeah, it holds a lot of little networks, Sky Network, all in the UK stuff.
If they get that, then yeah, it's really going to be on, because that's like almost all of like, European TV. If they get that, I mean, they're saying that's, that's going to bring in billions of dollars. And that, some of those shows that Chris has been wanting to watch, and they're going to be, aired specifically over there, that's going to make it a little more accessible, I would think. I'm sure Disney will make it, so I guess we have to wait 6 months and see how the dust is going to settle here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out some more tricks, because they do it all the time. As long as, what's his name, Bob Iger? Is that correct?
He's the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger.
Yes. See, that should be a household name, because the things that he's done for Disney already is just absolutely insane. The whole Star Wars thing, that's all been him. The changes he's made to Disney has just been fucking crazy. I think he was supposed to retire like a year ago, but I think he might be around a couple more years, at least until they get all this shit settled.
Oh, so he's the one for fucking up Star Wars. He's responsible for that? Or is that Kathleen Kennedy?
I guess Kennedy, I don't know.
Looks like he has a net worth of $100 million.
Whoa.
I think it's more than that now.
Yeah.
As soon as the deal goes through, he'll be ridiculous.
He'll be in the billionaires club.
But, I would definitely think like all your Predator movies, all that shit, that's all going to go over to Hulu. They'll slowly, I think, start pulling stuff from Netflix. I don't think they're going to do anything until they're established, at least.
Yeah, Predator's actually one I've got written down as far as what movies I'd like to see turned into series.
Really?
So, yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I think you could,
Yeah, I thought about that too. I've heard something about that. Maybe I heard you mention it or something. But we got the new Predators movie coming out. Maybe a series in the works.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, the new Predator movie.
There's a new Predator, but why am I not hearing about all these new movies?
Looks cool. Looks really cool.
Yeah, I don't like one part of it that I saw. Yeah, it's not a reboot. It's just I guess it's a modern time thing, but it's just called Predator, right?
Oh.
One of the best all-time franchises, I think.
Obviously now with this new streaming service, I think some of the things we want to talk about is like, we've seen what Netflix has done, and even Hulu. Hulu's jumped in. I wonder how that's going to go too. Oh no, they'll stay the same because and for those of you out there who haven't seen it, shout out to Alicia Kingston. She told me to watch a show called Cloak and Dagger, which is based off of Marvel characters. And it was fucking good.
Is it really? I've been interested.
I liked it, dude. It was really good.
I liked the comics when I was young. That's cool.
Yeah, it's looking. I mean, just give it a shot. I tell you what, you watch 2 episodes, you're gonna watch the whole thing.
Hell yeah,
it'll hook you.
Because I watched the trailer and it does look really cool.
It was exceptional. I didn't think it was gonna be good. I had no. She was like, I swear to God, Tarzan, this is so good. And I'm like, okay. I lay there one night and I'm like, I'm hooked. I'm in. They got me. Okay. And they definitely didn't go too far with it. So there's still so much. Because I know the comics enough, and so they were basically just kind of skimming the surface in this first season. It's definitely one to watch. It was really good. I was surprised.
It's just a well-known comic series, or what?
It was okay, known in the 80s. That's when I used to.
They're very interesting characters. Just to make a long story short, something happens where they kind of acquire these abilities, and she basically kind of has like these white type of daggers.
Yeah.
And he basically, you find out pretty quick that he knows how to teleport. And there's a significant cloak, and the storyline they give to the cloak is amazing. And this takes place in Louisiana.
Oh, cool.
Voodoo Bayou country. It's really good. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they team up.
They did it well. They did it really well. It's not too dark and it's not too candy ass on the same aspect. You know what I mean? It's a damn good show, Cloak and Dagger. And that's on Hulu, so it ain't gonna go nowhere.
And by the way, when he says candy ass, what he means is CW-ish. That's what we're saying.
CW-ish.
That's interchangeable.
Yes, it is.
Oh. Huh. Well, actually, that's a good segue into what I would like to see. I was thinking that they could make a show, kind of like, have you ever had those, like, coffee table encyclopedias that show, like, all the Marvel superheroes? Like, why don't you have a show that just explains each superhero? Something like that.
Oh my God, that's a good idea.
That's awesome. That's a great idea, especially for someone like you, Val, who's trying to learn all this shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would totally be into
Marvel
that.
Universe. I used to collect Marvel Universe magazines, and that's all they were the picture of the guy and all of his vital stats.
Nice.
And where he came from and everything. And, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Just animate some of these great comics. There's some great comics out there, and just like every week feature another one. You could have so many different artists and shit involved in that, where multiple people are working spring on it. It's like, okay, we got a Spider-Man. We got, hey, remember X-Men? You remember Omega Red? You know, these are the things that, you know, yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea, Val. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll just kind of go round table and bring up one. What do you got, Chris?
For a show I'd like to see?
Yes.
A series? God, what hadn't been done yet? What has not been turned into a movie or TV show yet?
Come on, man, say it. You know you want to say it.
You want me to talk about Star Wars stuff specifically?
Specifically, come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, if we're gonna go specifics, then we'll go. Of course, the old Republic days or pre-Republic days would be out fucking standing. Some of the best stories are before the main trilogy ever existed. I mean, I'm telling you.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
So you got. I mean, you could start with a little teaser or a little to get people into the older stuff. You could start with Plagueis and then go backward. You could start with Revan. You can start with the actual origin of the Jedi or Sith or both.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that's all great fucking stuff.
I'd watch that.
And I promise you, they're better stories than, if you read the books anyway, they're better stories than the actual regular, main trilogy.
And bring some of these comics into it, like fucking, like I have told everybody, nobody ever listens to me, of course. Like fuck you, Tarzan. But the Saga of Nomi Sunrider, which was a Dark Horse comic, these are fucking phenomenal stories. They're amazing, and they're all old. They're all from way back, way before. Like I think it's hundreds of years before Yoda was even born. So they're amazing.
Like I did a 2-part video series on my channel 3 years ago about Star Wars, the history of the Sith and the history of the Jedi. And it was 2 parts of the Jedi part. You could take those 2 videos, just what I summarized in 2 videos, and make 10 years worth of shows out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, easy. You're talking about, 100 million years. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. It would be a really cool concept to see the origin.
Rocket, man. It'd be creative as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as me, the angle I went, Tarzan, was movies that they own that I think would make cool TV shows or series,
Yeah, go for whatever you want. I mean, that's what's so great about this is so much new shit is now on the table, and the fact that you got to remember all the old Disney shit too, and everything else they got, that's on the table now because now the 2 streaming services are going to be in play.
Because I went through and looked at the movies that they just bought and see like a Young Guns TV series. I even put Porky's.
Oh God, no!
Oh shit!
Revenge of the Nerds. I don't know how they can modernize that though, because nerds are cool.
I don't think Porky's will work.
Yeah.
It's not the same. As
I thought about the Young Guns thing actually, but I don't think telling the same story over just 5 seasons or something. I don't know. It'd be stretched out.
And I also put, we just discussed Predator a second ago, and I put Alien as well, and then I put Braveheart. I think they could do something cool with that.
Oh my!
But you say you don't think Porky's would work? Why? Because it's Disney?
Yeah, but it's just how long will that? I mean, if you want to have like a success, I just don't know. I don't know how often can you watch kids go to the whorehouse trying to get laid.
I love high school angst. You build characters. You do the development. You follow these characters around, kind of like that '70s show. How they did.
Oh, and that's one of my favorite. I love that show. Okay, so I guess that's on me, right? If we're going to touch the Star Wars stuff, and definitely a shout out to Steven Stark, because we talked about this in depth. And yes, give me Vader. That's it. That's the title, Vader. And you start off with your first season where you're kind of like the comics where he's like rejecting the suit and the struggles he goes with at first as being Vader, and then just go full fucking Jason Voorhees, because that's basically, when we see like A New Hope, that's basically what we get is like people are deathly scared of this guy. This guy is not fucking around, and let's put that on screen. Why? Like, I mean, he obviously goes through the galaxy just tearing up shit, finding every Jedi he can.
Yeah, if you go off the book Dark Lord, it's fucking outstanding. It's the suit. Anakin hates the suit, and he can't fight like he used to. And so he has to come up with these new techniques, and he's the first one to be able to throw his lightsaber and control it and bring it back to him. So he did that shit because he could no longer jump and flip and shit like Anakin could. So it would be an outstanding fucking story. That's another example of a great book that would be another great show.
Oh, yeah. And then on top of that, I mean, you got to remember, too, we've seen Vader, like, in the suit. That was it, right? That, in the very beginning, he got in the suit. And what is Anakin in his young 20s, right?
Right.
He gets the suit, right, at the end of the movie. And then we go to New Hope, where he's an old fucker. He's old man Vader, right? We never got Vader Prime.
Well, we got Rogue One Vader. That's the Vader we need to see. Rogue One Vader was fucking outstanding.
Yes.
But you know what, though? The events of Rogue One are just before A New Hope.
Right. But I'm saying that hallway scene was the Vader we're looking for. You know what I mean? That's
Exactly. But even younger and more deadly.
Wait a sec. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a hit right out of the box.
I thought that was like, I don't know, I'm confused.
What about Rogue One?
I mean, like, because the hallway scene or whatever, that's the first time, like, anyone ever saw Vader. Is that the one you're talking about?
That was right before A New Hope when he boards Leia's ship. That was literally like 10 minutes before.
Yeah, it's literally same day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like the first time anyone
Yeah,
ever saw Vader in a movie. Like, what?
Yeah, A New Hope when he... Yeah, exactly.
But wasn't that, like, the same? How was that a different Vader?
Yeah, that'd have been 10 minutes before. It wouldn't be... No, he's just saying... Like, the end of Rogue One is 10 minutes before A New Hope start. Because then he jumps on his ship and he goes and finds... You know, not necessarily 10 minutes, but they find that ship that they took off on. That Princess Leia's on.
How old is Luke at the beginning of New Hope? 16? Somewhere in there?
16.
16 years. So we got 16 years of Vader. We have 16 years of Vader where he was just slaying Jedi. Do you understand?
Yep.
That's basically what was happening. So at that time, he's already, getting old. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, there's a big gap in there.
No, I know about the gap.
But there's all these stories, though. There's all these stories about how he went through the galaxy just really maliciously, like literally like Jason Voorhees, just fucking, storming through the galaxy, killing. And then there's all these other stories about witches and all this other shit. I'm telling you, it would be I think you'd love it and you'd watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that would be cool in the Star Wars universe, is to bring in Dathomir and the witches there. That's a cool thing that people are not aware of. Dathomir, the witches of Dathomir. That's where Darth Maul's from. They're mystical, powerful, but they're not Sith or Jedi or anything like that. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Let's not turn this podcast into a Star Wars episode.
Yeah. So we all agree that would be a good series for sure.
It'd be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it'd be a hit right out of the gate.
But that's what I was saying before. Like, if you go the route where people are familiar with, like, a Vader, you go with that series first, right? Or something like that. Vader or Plagueis, which would tie into, modern stuff that people know. That would get them hooked on it. See the production value, whatever.
I think that's what you got to do.
And then you go backwards. And then they can say, well, here's how the Rule of Two started. Or here's how the Sith were formed in the first place. And then people wouldn't be afraid to say this is Star Wars: The Old Republic or
That's
pre-Republic.
How you got to do it. Hit them with something they're comfortable with and recognize or familiar with. That's what I'm trying to say.
Because it would, if you get interested in Darth Vader as a kid, right, or an adult, and you're like, who is this motherfucker? And you want to know his past, but then you find out who his master is, and you want to know, okay, well, how did he learn his shit? And then you want to find out, well, then you just extend backwards to Plagueis and on back through Bane and everybody else. That's how you get there. Start here with something comfortable and then go backwards, and that way you can eventually get to a place where they don't know anybody's name from a movie or a comic.
Exactly.
Maybe a comic, but you know what I mean. But you're putting that stuff that only hardcore Star Wars nerds know into the mainstream.
I don't understand how these companies just don't realize that these shows would be a hit.
I agree. They do, though.
Well, I could say this. We all know this, I think, here, that it is confirmed that Disney is definitely 100% doing a live-action Star Wars series of some kind.
Yeah.
We just have no idea what it is.
Yeah, they
I'm
are.
sorry,
And
I
George,
was unaware of that.
yeah, Lucas tried to do this years ago, and they could not get it down to within $1 million an episode as far as budgeting. So that was planned, but that was back in the probably early 90s, and they needed it down to $1 million. But think about now, HBO has destroyed that, so there's no more worried about budgets, especially with Disney anyway. You got Game of Thrones with a $15 million budget per episode now. Is that right for season 8? Something like that. It used to be 10, now it's 15. I mean, they're not going to have any issues with a Star Wars live thing now. So, yeah.
But the other thing, too, that you can add is something that you really can't do with Game of Thrones, because you have the dragons and the giants and the direwolves, is you can go back to, remember, Disney owns all the Muppet, what do you call that? What do they call that? Henson's Creature Shop, all that shit. Go back to the practical shit, you know what I mean? There's no reason you can't. You've got the companies, I mean, what do you need CGI for? The backgrounds and the shit, that's about it, right? Spaceships?
Yeah, but I mean, but that's what I mean.
Seriously, I mean, most of it, I mean, I think they could do it cheaper than Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, no doubt, yeah, because you don't have unless you have the occasional creature, which you do have a lot of creatures in the Star Wars universe. But yeah, I mean, a spaceship in the background is much easier than dragon, so there's not going to be a problem with money.
Yeah, as far as the new characters, I mean, let the creature shops do their thing, man. You go with the kind of like what they've been doing in the new Star Wars movies. Go to the practical shit. You know what I mean? Make the costumes.
Yeah, old school. But but they're good. That's what they're good at. They're good at mixing it up. J.J. Abrams, at least I'll give him that for Episode 7, and even Rian Johnson for 8. At least they brought back the old school style actual puppeteers and shit. Anyway, this is not a Star Wars podcast.
Well, let me kind of help you guys out a little bit on turning the tides. Not only, I mean, we already know they got Star Wars, but now they've got they got 90% of the fucking Marvel universe. That also opens some fucking amazing doors, in my opinion. Do you guys have an opinion on that?
I see it both ways. Like, I could see, Avengers adding Fantastic Four, which was Fox, and they've got the Spider-Man deal with Sony still, so they're good there. They'll keep that deal going regardless. But it almost gets into overkill, I think, if you start doing. I mean, you could have a lot of crossovers though. You could have let's say a Wolverine Deadpool crossover. You could have individual movies like that. But on the large scale stuff like Avengers, they have 3 hours to squeeze in every single fucking character, and that's what we were worried about with Infinity War.
What about series? But
yeah, in a series, you gotta. That's what I'm saying. You got a lot longer to put that shit together. But at the same time, how do you keep up with so many fucking people if you do that big of a crossover?
Well, that means you narrow it down. And I think to me, it's a no-brainer. And there's one particular character that's been done absolutely wrong, I think, in the movies. If you don't agree with me, fuck you. But that's Wolverine. If you did a Wolverine series, it would be absolutely amazing, because these Wolverine movies they're not Wolverine to me, because I used to read the shit out of these comics. You're leaving out amazing characters like Omega Red, Cyber, what Lady Deathstrike really looks like. There's so many, and the storyline that goes to all this is fucking really good.
But you don't. Wait a minute. You just don't. You don't like the Hugh Jackman Wolverine himself, though.
I'm okay with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I don't like those movies and the way they went with them, man. I mean, there's all these great characters, and it's just like the second one was doo-doo, and then we got Old Man Logan, which I think I'm like, okay, and they kill him off, and I don't like it. So I like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's a little tall for the part, honestly. Other than that, no, I think he nailed it, man. He definitely, I liked the Wolverine they put out there. I think he did the best he could with what he had. But, if he was given like all these other great storylines that they have, they're a little darker. I think they could have went a lot further. I don't like. They had, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this. Like, Lady Deathstrike was in the second X-Men movie, and that's nothing what she looks like. She's like a little Asian girl with long fingernails, and doesn't have much to say. She's not done right. You know what I mean? And Sabretooth was okay. It was bearable. But there's so many other. I'm telling you, if they did this right and put this shit on screen, it would be amazing.
It could be, absolutely. And in our lifetime, we've seen a successful Hulk series on TV.
Yeah.
I could see another one. I think that would be cool, but not have him be a loner. Like, bring in other,
Yeah, at least an occasional cameo or something.
Exactly, and that could be cool again. On the same premise, kind of. He's uncomfortable being who he is, so he wanders around. Because if he gets attached, he knows he's going to fuck something up.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's almost like, with all the reboots now in the last 10 years, everything's a reboot. You got to start getting people into these other minor characters that people are not aware of, like with whether that's Marvel, whether that's Star Wars, anything really.
Makes you wonder though, are they minor for a reason? Would people get into them?
Well, that is true.
It does seem that they're trying to dip more into that. Have you noticed that? All those movies are trying. I think they're starting to do that, and I think having Marvel series,
it's a launching pad.
Yeah,
I think that's a good like Wolverine is going to introduce all these characters. I bet you some of the characters I just named with the Wolverine shit you probably never even heard of. Correct?
Yeah, there was only one or two you named that I'd heard of.
Yeah, but like if you look up like Omega Red or you read about Cyber, these are characters that are going to be great on there. And Wolverine also interacts with like Alpha Flight and other groups, so it's a very open door to bring in a lot of characters.
I think Alpha Flight would work on its own. I'm telling you, I used to love Alpha Flight.
You know what? Regardless of what it is, I think I was going to say this before when we were talking about another podcast. I think the time that they have movie quality stuff in a TV show is when they'll really nail it.
Yes.
Like that's
The
why Game of
CW
Thrones. That's why Game of Thrones is not, regardless of some of the bad story writing, whatever. It's like a movie.
It is.
Quality, and that is due to budgets. So there's no excuse no more for budget. If they want to put in the work and have a real successful show that blows everything out of the water, do that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Tarzan, what about
Yes, sir.
something, say, along the lines of centered around the school for mutants or gifted people or whatever, where they could introduce characters?
Of what?
You know, the school for the gifted people, the mutants.
Oh, Professor X's school.
Yeah, where they can introduce some of these fringe mutants on a series.
Well, yeah, see, I mean, now you got, I don't know if you guys, what the hell was the name of that show? Shit. I know my Marvel, too. They did one last year that was kind of that way. It was about the Strucker twins. Remember, we talked about it. And I know they're supposed to be doing a second season. It's got Polaris. Do you remember, Val? What the hell was the name of that? We watched it. We all watched the trailer. Remember, it had the boy.
I remember us talking about it.
The boy that was in the kind of like the shower room, and the boys were bullying him, and he made all the fucking metal and everything bend.
It was like a Heroes style show. I started watching and I couldn't keep watching.
Yeah, it was the something.
The Gifted.
The Gifted,
Yes.
The Gifted, yeah.
Ooh.
And at the end of the last season, they start mentioning, Polaris's father. So there's a good chance that Magneto, who, for a while she believed was her father, he might be in the next season, very possibly. Especially with the Disney merger, I don't think any, no holds will be barred on that one. But, you don't know. The one that didn't really swing well with me was the fucking, what do you call it? Black Bolt and Medusa. They kind of really cheesy for me. What is that called? The Inhumans.
Oh,
Okay.
you mean the dark? Yeah, Macy Williams' new movie coming.
No, that's the New Mutants. Inhumans had the big dog, and it had Black Bolt, the one that doesn't talk. When he does, he fucks up everything.
Oh, yes.
It had the
Ramsey
it had
Bolton,
Ramsey in
yeah.
it.
Ramsey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that already canceled? I think it got canceled.
I don't know. It wasn't that great.
I have a question for you, Tarzan.
Yes, sir.
You brought up Vader, okay, from the Star Wars universe. In the Marvel realm, what villain would you like to see a series possibly based around?
Oh, God, there's so many great ones that, oh, fuck. Who has a lot of depth? And let me think about that.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, like the leader, but I don't know.
Well, you got a lot of other ones, too. And, probably know, I know these comics pretty well. You got, like, Strife. That would be interesting. He's actually like a mutated clone of Cable.
Doc Ock, Doctor Doom.
I don't know if I would touch any of those. If you're going to do all of it, you might as well just go, completely Sinister Six.
Ah.
But I think the movies look like they're doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, you want to say Venom right away, but they're obviously doing them. That movie should be out actually real soon, within the next month or two. So with that, you have Carnage, so that's off the table. But there's a lot of other good villains. Let me think. Damn, you caught me off guard because now I got like 30 of them just flying through my brain.
Take your time. I really want to hear what you think about it. But the Venom that you brought up, yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. I can't lie, and it would make a good series.
And the trailers look awesome.
Yeah, me and Chris keep watching them, and they're really doing a good job.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you do a whole show about an actual villain versus like a Venom where he's kind of an anti-hero sometimes? You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
I mean, it's just straight bad guy and he killing people and he wins. I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe it's different.
Briggs.
Well, yeah, you get into that whole symbiote thing, but I don't know how much storyline you have. I mean, maybe you could create some, but you always got to watch those avid comic book readers. You don't want to get, too far off. The Spider-Verse itself there's a lot of characters in that alone. And we know that. We've seen a lot of them like Vulture, but there's a lot of other ones too. There's you got Agent Venom. I'm not even going to get into it, but there's a ton more there. But I don't think that's the route you go. Even though Spider-Man is very popular with children, extremely, I think probably Batman and Spider-Man are probably the two most popular. Would you guys say that?
Agreed. Yep. With kids, yeah.
Yeah, and probably Superman, but yeah.
But, God, you really got me thinking about the villain thing. Fuck, just do a Marvel villain series, do it like Black Mirror, you know what I mean?
Now that could where it's new every time. That would be really cool.
Wouldn't it? Like Black Mirror. You got me thinking about that with your idea earlier. That would be badass. Just do a bunch of minis on Marvel villains. That'd be fucking badass.
You damn right it would.
Like even you could do like little 3-part ones or whatever, or whatever. You could always keep it mixing it up, kind of like American Horror Story.
If you think about it,
you know what I mean? It's never the same.
these big directors and stuff, if they know they really gonna do one, they want to go out there and shoot their wad on their favorite villain from their childhood. Oh, they'd make some incredible series episodes.
Absolutely. When you see some of the stuff that's out there now that has succeeded, like Stranger Things and all that, and then you look at like something like Black Mirror, where they can just do a one show, or even do even if it's a 3-part show, kind of like what we saw with whatchamacallit, Chris, with the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars has a lot of little mini stories in it. Look at Riddick.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give the Clone Wars another shot.
But what else you guys got? Remember also too, that also puts anything Disney's ever done on the table as well.
True.
You know what I mean? Any movie could be turned into a show, or because now they're trying to take a lot of the classic animations now and turn them into live action. Like Beauty and the Beast and Peach Dragon, and what else did they do? They did more than that, didn't they? I know that. Oh yeah, which actually the Jungle Book, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But you also could put stuff on the table now as far as series. But I can't think of anything right off the top of my head that really jumps out at me.
Who
is Avatar Disney?
Wait a minute.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. Matrix is Fox, correct?
Oh wow.
What about a Matrix series?
That might go over. Well, possibly.
Because you just got a lot. I mean, it could be like a Black Mirror style thing where it's not necessarily the same character every time, but it's you got different people discovering they're in the Matrix, or I don't know. That could be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm into that. Just pick someone that looks like Keanu.
Well, you could have maybe. Well, Neo's dead. Damn it.
Wait, what? Oh yeah. Oh wait, what? I don't remember how the last movie went.
Revolutions? You don't remember Revolutions?
No, I remember some parts of it.
Well, I guess it's still questionable. But anyway, I can tell you what happens, but James hadn't seen it yet either, so I can't say nothing.
Yeah, no, don't ruin it.
You saw the first 2, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, that would be, I don't know, that could be cool. Because, I mean, I'm telling you right now, young people that have not seen The Matrix, they have not seen an original movie yet in their life. They have not. Everything's been a reboot to these guys, right? So you bring that magic to them and throw a twist out there, I don't know, like The Matrix was think about when you first saw The Matrix, you couldn't say a word. You're just like, just go, but everything else has been a reboot. So,
oh, yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so I kind of took it into a different direction. If you guys can't think of anything like, old school Disney, nothing really pops to my head right away that would make a good series. But I did pull up all the horror movies that Fox is actually bringing with them as well. So you got like The Sixth Sense, Prometheus, The Pyramid, Predator. I'm definitely in agreement with that. That could be, if done correctly, that could be pretty cool, I think.
What if they took something like, like there's a billion cop movies or cop shows, right? There's a lot of shows built around cops or detectives or something. What if they did something like that with the Alien universe? Like, I don't know, it's like a regular story that's not necessarily focused on aliens, but you're in that world and they're always a threat. You know what I mean? Or potentially. I don't know. I'm just trying to think out loud. Something a little sci-fi, but not over the top, where people that don't like sci-fi would hate it too. You know what I mean?
They did that thing with Will Smith, right? Where he had an alien for a cop. His partner.
Oh yeah. That was pretty cool.
That was.
The ending did not happen. There was no ending to the movie, but yeah, it was. Other than that, it was pretty cool.
Are you talking about Light?
Yeah. Well,
I don't remember
that's close. That's close. What was the name of that? It's not Light.
Well, it's something like. Are you talking about the one where the orc? It's actually an orc.
Yeah, orc. Exactly. It was World of Warcraft in modern times. That would be a good show. That's a whole different thing. Disney don't own Blizzard, but that would be cool.
They did a movie. I don't know how well that did though.
Yeah, I'm saying a series. I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I'll tell you what. We all like video games. What about? And I think it'd be hard to do because you're definitely going to have to mix animation with live action, and are you guys familiar with Kingdom Hearts?
I know the name, yes.
Yes.
That could be interesting because it's got this character Sora kind of teams up with, it's going to be more kid friendly, obviously, but you're talking about with Goofy and Daffy, not Daffy, goddammit, with Donald Duck. And they go to all the different, like, these different worlds, these Disney world, you know, like where Tarzan is, or like what do you call it, Jack Skeleton, what is it, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's something I think that would appeal to children. I think that would be really, if it's done correctly, it'd be badass. But then you're adding like Final Fantasy characters like Cloud.
Well, it would appeal to a whole bunch of people too that play the game.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like if you visit, do you remember like when you visit the Hercules planet? Could you imagine those done in live action? You know what I mean? Do you remember the size of the Titans and all that shit? It would be fucking pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Because it's packed with Disney characters.
Absolutely.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would do well. Or even if you just go completely like a CGI show, you know, which, you know what I mean? Kind of like remember like when the Transformers kind of went to that more modern animation, Chris? Remember when they went to the more, what was it, like the Beast Wars or whatever? It was just kind of just so beyond anything we saw that was animation. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like where it was Optimus Primate and shit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did. I never really liked. That's when I started getting out of Transformers. When they started turning, I never really liked the idea when they started turning them into different things.
But you know, fuck that. What I'm saying is that type of animation, that quality, yes.
But yeah, I know what you're saying about the animation though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know what you're saying about the animation. Yeah.
With the Disney characters you're talking about, are you talking about something in the vein of Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
It would be way cleaner than that. It'd have to be. It would be more like, you know what I'm saying? Have you seen some of these?
No, of course. But I'm saying, are you saying humans along with cartoon characters?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you were saying earlier?
That would be, you know, now I've been thinking more about it. I mean, can you do that? What would be better? I don't know. Would it be a full animation?
That's kind of a cool concept. Yeah, I don't know.
But when you really dig into some of these Disney characters, like, can you do it? You know what I mean? That's just it. It's going to be kind of a, like, how good, and without, you know, making, you know, like a Donald Duck. There's no way I don't think you could do a costume where, I don't know, he looked kind of like Howard the Duck, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Right, yeah. But we just know what they can do these days. It would look like, if they did another Who Framed Roger Rabbit right now, it would look so much more realistic. For me, as far as Disney goes, their classic Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Pluto, and Goofy and all that, I grew out of them really fast, but their movies now, where they did the Snow White and, you know, Jungle Book and all that, I love those. You could hardly ever grow out of those.
Well, I like how they turn them into like a realistic thing, like the Huntsman movies were. I like those. You know, essentially Snow White.
I like Jungle Book. Did you see Jungle Book?
I have not seen the new one. I really want to.
What? I think they did a damn good job with it.
Yeah.
Everybody says that.
Yeah, I want to watch it too.
I can't believe.
And then you remember King Louie? King Louie voiced by what's his face? Satan. What's his name?
Satan.
Yeah, he played the devil, and was it The Prophecy? He's famous for it. You know, guy. He talks like a gangster.
Oh, Al Pacino.
Not Al Pacino. Goddamn it.
I thought you were talking about The Devil's Advocate.
Right.
No,
right, yeah.
The Prophecy. Christopher Walken.
Oh no, he was. That's one of my favorite all-time classics. He was what's God damn it, The Angel of Death.
All the voiceovers for that are pretty badass. Give it a shot, I'm telling you. And then they did Ka, right? Is that right? Ka? That fucking giant, the thing's huge. The snake, huge, and it's a female this time.
Right. I gotta watch it. I've gotta watch that.
Yeah, and what's his face? Is it Bill Murray does the voice of Baloo?
Wait, was it Khan?
No, Khan's that fucking tiger. That's the black actor. I can never say his name right. Remember, Chris? We always fuck it up.
Idra Elbas.
Yeah, it's that guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Shere Khan. Yeah.
Who does the voice of, what is it, Bagheera? Who is it? Who does the voice of Bagheera? All the actors are fucking badass in there. The voiceovers.
Yeah.
And somebody, I can't remember who does the voice of Ka, the snake too. That's somebody famous too. And she sounds so sexy but deadly.
Well, Angelina Jolie? I don't know.
Is it? I don't know. You have to look it up.
Ben Kingsley does the Bagheera voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, all the voiceovers are great. Who does Ka? I want to say it's like Scarlett Johansson or somebody like that.
Oh shit! No, yeah, you're right. It is Scarlett Johansson.
Ha! I nailed it. But I can't think of. I'm trying to think of other stuff that Disney's done that.
Well, that's the good thing, though. It don't have to be anything Disney's done before. Now it can be anything Fox has done, anything under that umbrella, anything.
Exactly. But, like A Nightmare Before Christmas, but the only thing is anytime they try to resurrect something that's fucking golden, they fuck it up. You know what I mean? A lot of these things do. You know what I mean? Just like...
Yeah, that's what I was saying before, though. I mean, like, why are we trying to think of the things you've already seen? There's so much stuff out there that they could introduce. And like we said, maybe there needs to be a transition, whether that's Star Wars or anything else. but there's so many, God, thousands of characters and stories out there from all these different properties that people don't know any background on them.
If this is launched right, it's going to be the next big thing.
If it's done correctly, yeah, but that's just it. I think Bob Iger is a real smart fucking guy, and he is seeing the success that like HBO has had with Game of Thrones. He's seen the success that Netflix is having, and they obviously have a plan. Not sure. I'm sure they've already got 20, 30 ideas of things they want to do. I'm sure they do. When I was reading that one thing, I think it was something like the number was insane with the movie bank alone that will be available for them to put on Hulu, and they're all just like fucking blockbuster. You got to remember now they got number 1, 2, and 3 on the all-time list.
Unbelievable.
They just got Titanic and fucking Avatar. That's theirs now. The properties are there. It's just whether you execute it correctly. And that's just it. You got to figure out, like with Stranger Things, that hit at the right time and the nostalgia and everything. That's what you got to do, and they have stuff in their arsenal. When you look at like Marvel and you look at Star Wars, if you do it right, don't do some cheesy ass shit. Get out of this. The thing that pisses me off the most with what they do with Star Wars is that they live in the fucking box. Okay, there's such a big universe, and you keep just let's do Leia, let's do this, no, get the fuck out of there. There's introduce a new character. Have a series like Chris was saying. I mean, I think everybody in the Star Wars fandom would love to see them do something with the Old Republic. You know what I mean? And then from there, you could spin and spin and spin right off of that. I mean, even like Tales of the Bounty Hunter. These are things that would really, I think, fucking make some money to keep people interested.
Yeah, there's just too many. There's too many other things out there to keep doing the same characters just because they're familiar. That's the thing.
Yeah, like I mean, in my opinion, like a Han Solo movie and shit like that should never been done.
No, we talked about that before. That was the dumb choice for one of the first single or solo movies. I get solo movies. You know what I mean?
Honestly, if you want to do that right, I mean, I liked Rogue One. I thought it was good. The only thing is they didn't execute like character development. I still look at some of those characters and don't know their names, and that's very unusual for a Star Wars film in me.
Well, same here, but I think they did that because they had to die anyway. So, but yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But if they would have came out of the gate with like a Vader movie, now I'm glad they're not, because they should make a very dark Vader series, and I would be glued to that motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to add. I mean, I'm sure I'll think of some specific show or whatever after we get done. But that's the way it always works. I will just say this really quick, too. I mentioned this before on some other podcast that this came up, but with all these streaming services, and now this may consolidate some if they try to actually not Netflix that's a fucking tongue twister. Take Netflix down, take them out of business, whatever, put them out of business. People are now going back to cable because they're paying like, $20-$25 for every single streaming service, and then it became the same as their cable bill where they got it all in one place. I wonder if they're taking that into consideration, because this is just going to be another service on top of 14 more. Hulu, Netflix, CBS streaming, HBO, it's on, HBO Now, and now Disney, and on top of what? There's probably a couple more I'm missing, I'm sure.
And DC is also starting their own too.
DC?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. So, shit, I mean, you're going to have people with 4 or 5 or 6 services as opposed to just paying one cable bill.
Well, I mean, maybe this is an opening for a new business that can give you a deal on like a package with all, and it'll go back to what cable was.
But I'm sure Disney's going to bundle you guys. I'm sure there's going to be a bundle. Like you can get Hulu and the new Disney probably for, I don't know, $15.
Oh, sure, but they still don't own the other ones like CBS and then like Val said, DC. So I bet there will be like a Hootsuite type thing where they can combine them somehow. Somebody will.
Yeah.
Anyway, just want to throw that out there because, I mean, people think everybody's still cutting the wire. Some people are actually going back to the wire or satellite because they ended up paying the same price.
Yeah, but still, you can't get as good stuff on cable, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, you can't get Netflix stuff on cable.
Yeah, you can get movies on demand. You got everything there that's on Netflix.
Well, but the other thing too, remember with Hulu, you're still getting all these next day shows. You know what I mean? I think they're going to be okay with the Hulu thing. If they keep Hulu, what they have with it now, and then add on all this other shit, I think they're going to be fine. And especially if you start throwing on some badass series, because if they take some of their stuff from Netflix away and bring it over to Hulu, then you definitely got a contender there. And then if you do a really badass, like, you know, the Star Wars show or whatever, you know, you add some of that also to that, I think you're going to be fine. I think they're going to make a lot of money out of this.
Oh, no doubt they'll make a lot of money.
And that's Netflix is number 1, Hulu's number 2, correct?
I don't even know if Hulu's number 2 right now. I don't know though.
If not, they soon will be.
Yeah, there's a chance for them to overtake the number 1 spot.
But, you know, I mean, still, Netflix is still going to have good shit, though. You know, like, you know, Stranger Things and shit. I'm not getting rid of my Stranger Things. There's no fucking way.
Oh yeah,
And
their original series have been
Yeah, the
amazing.
original stuff's been great, and now that's also YouTube Red. I mean, you got
that's
YouTube
right.
originals now, so YouTube's doing its own shit, obviously.
Forgot about YouTube Red.
So that's another player, and it's owned by the world's richest company, Google. So I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think they're going to, you know, with Disney getting in the game here with the Hulu and shit, and if they bundle those things together, I don't think YouTube's going to be able to touch them. There's no fucking way. There's no way. I don't know.
Well, again, it goes back to, are we wanting to see the same old shit we've seen or new stuff? You know, I don't know. We'll see.
I vote for Vader.
Well, definitely in the comment section, let us know what you think. I'm sure we're missing a lot of other movies and properties that just came over from Fox, or maybe there's something that you've seen in the past that we're skipping over that's Disney or something. You know, just give us your thoughts, you know, what you think would make a good streaming service. Yeah.
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 And there it is. There it is. There's the outro right there. Yeah.
I wish you could put you
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
No. Now it ends.